Hello, we are going to be working on the door exercise, which will be using one of our last selection tools that we need to be introduced to, the lasso tool. You'll also be using the polygonal lasso tool, and we're going to be using the quick mask mode to refine our selection. Our object of this exercise is to change the color of the door. We're going to change that from a brown to a different color, whatever color you like. But first, we're going to make a really detailed selection. And so why don't you, I hope you've downloaded the door file from your Moodle. And let's go to File, Open, Door, and then save it as your last name, and then underscore door. And put it on your desktop. So I'm going to select my desktop and save. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at that door, and you see a good portion of the door is like a rectangle. So we've learned that the polygonal lasso tool is a really good tool to select angular shapes like rectangles. So we're going to go ahead and make a selection of that rectangular part of the door. Now, when we come to the bottom of the door, there's lots of ins and outs, and you can just follow along with that polygonal lasso tool to make your selection. So you're going to go in and out. You can zoom in if you want to see this a little bit better. Command plus zooms in on that area so you can sort of see what you're doing. Make a selection, and then we're going to come up and we're going to close the selection. And so there we have our marching ants. So you have the bottom part of the door selected. I'm going to zoom out, Command or Control minus, and then I'm going to select our lasso tool, our regular lasso tool. And we're going to hit this Add to Selection option up in the tool option bar. So right there, and Add to Selection. And then we're going to bring our lasso tool down underneath the selection. So you see the marching ants there. We're going to come below, and we're going to draw around almost as if we were using the, sorry, I had to step back because I didn't quite get it correctly. Almost as if you were using the magnetic tool, the magnetic lasso tool, you're going to go around that, that top area of the door. And we're going to grab the lasso tool and then drag around and go back under the selection and close that selection. There you have. So there, we've made a continuation of that selection. It's all one selection. So we're going to go back to Add to Selection, and you see I kind of missed some areas. So once again, you start within that selection and go around, and there you have it. So you've got pretty much the whole door selected. I guess we could go up here and add that part. So it's Add to Selection is selected on the tool option bar. And there you go. Now that is a little messy, but we're going to fix that up once we get into our masking. So let's leave that. And now we're going to subtract from selection. So we're going to grab our marquee tool, our magic wand, and we are going to subtract from selection. And now you're going to select the window panes. And we are going to subtract that because all we really want is the wooden area to change the color. Okay. Now you see that part, that window that has the flag in it? We're going to zoom in on that. And with our subtract from selection still selected, we're going to go back up to the polygonal lasso tool. And we're going to actually draw within that area. Just draw the window pane, and that's going to subtract that whole window also. All right, and then we did this little triangular one, so slide your polygonal lasso over there. and complete the selection. And we are once again subtracting up from the selection there. Okay, I'm going to zoom out and see how did I do. Not bad. It's a little messy up here, but we're going to fix that with our quick mask. Okay, so we're going to go over to the toolbox and we're going to hit quick mask mode. And now you see you have a nice bright red mask where the inverse of the selection is. So let's see what we need to correct. So we are going to set our foreground color to black, grab our brush, and you can change your tool, your brush options here. The directions want us to go to 10. And you can type in 10 if you can't get it on the slider. 10 and a hardness of 100. But you can change that as you're painting. It's all very individual. And then we're going to go over here and I'm going to zoom up a little, Command plus or Control or Command plus, or use the zoom key, the zoom tool. And you can go in and we're going to paint that selection to add to the selection. Okay, so I see a little area here. It's good. I see I missed this little triangle. So you're going to add to selection there. And this window is a little vignetted, so I'm going to make that a little crisper. And I see a little nick here that I didn't get. So you're going to go over there. And I see a little area here. Now I overdid it. Oops, and I just did it again, but we're going to correct that. Let's go back down and I see an area here that I can correct. Let's just check out if we need to add to the mask and then we'll come back and subtract from it. So we've got this and guess we can take this off. This looks like a little bit of a grout in between the wood and the stone. So we're going to just make that a little more perfect. And let's see if there's anything else. No. Okay, so now what we're going to do is switch our foreground color to white. And with that same brush, we're going to paint in white. And we are going to delete from the mask. So I overdid it up here. So you're just going to come and paint that off. Now you could go back and forth for a long time. Now the bracket keys will enlarge your brush size without going back up to the options up above in the tool options bar. So the right bracket will make your brush bigger, the left bracket will make it smaller. So I just got a little bit bigger to get that big area that I over painted on the mask. Okay, let's go down here. I'm just going to hit this area right here. And this area a little bit on the bottom of the door. And then that completes our mask. It looks pretty good. So we're going to hit that quick mask button again, and it returns us to the marching ants. And now we can complete our job after we hit Control or Command minus, because I want to see the whole door. Oh, there's one little area we did forget. Okay, the lock. Let's go back in and use the zoom tool and zoom in on that lock. Hit the quick mask mode again so we can see the mask, and make sure the foreground color is turned to black. You hit these little arrows and it changes it automatically to black, and we get our paintbrush, black, and we are going to make our brush just a little smaller, and we're going to paint the lock so it doesn't change color when we change the color of the door. So there we have it. So you're gonna grab that, and then you grab the little chains that are holding the lock. Let's just mask that out too, because we don't want to change that. Now we have that. Make sure you got it all. All right. Now let's go back, hit our quick mask. And now everything's selected. Our door is selected. So we're going to go to image. Let's control or command minus again. Image, adjustment, hue saturation. And we're going to change the color of that door. So I'm going to make it green. You can make it purple, you can make it blue, any color you want. And there you have it. And hit Command D, deselect, Command or Control D. And there you have your door changed to a different color, and the lock's still rusty brown. So that's how you use a quick mask mode to change, to help to create a better selection.